When I originally a couple months ago when I brought, I guess, put the idea on the table, the intent of the plan was to have, Rose and Jim and Mark to go back to their areas. It was more, I would get my constituents together and listen to them, because right now I don't think of those 6, the only people they're listening to is themselves. And maybe Hero, but I really think they got tunnel vision, they have a purpose, and they're gonna keep shoving this and going in that direction. And I don't think they care what their people, how they feel, what they think. They're just gonna keep moving in this direction because they can. It's the people that are the constituents of John Monroe, Mark Linsky, Yasmin, Rose Stitt, Solak, Smeltzer. They have to feel the pressure to know that what they're doing right now will be the last time they get to do this, because the next time it comes around, they won't be sitting in those seats, and that's the pressure that I think they have to feel.
What do we do if our representative does not respond to any emails? As far as I know, that Mrs. Yasmin has not responded to anyone that I've talked to, and I do talk a lot.
Right.
Sign our petitions.
Yeah. You can log a copy of your email to the school superintendent, and we would highly recommend that, as well as I copy many of the board members on my emails, so that it's not just going to my specific representative, which would be Jim.
That's the best.
Typically, I copy everybody.
You shouldn't really communicate one-on-one with any of the board members. You're best to always copy all 9 of us and send it to Linda, and she can do it, saying that you want this information to be passed on to all 9 board members. Because one, I think it allows us to get a better feel for what the majority of the people in the community want or how they feel. But 2, I think it allows us to put pressure on those folks in the meeting as to why aren't you, returning emails? Why won't you answer some of these questions that people in your area are asking? So I would just suggest copy all 9.
Can I just say something again too? I think it's extremely important. I'm guessing you're here because you're interested and you're concerned about what's happening with our school district. We need to get letters written, not only the personal letters to the directors, but into the papers. That's how you can put pressure on some of these school board members. They don't like to have people go against their thoughts. So you need to get your thoughts known. If you truly feel concern for this district, get your letters into the paper.
How do you get to be a school board member? How do you go about getting to be what you're doing? And get some of these people, if we could change it.
Well, if you want to, you have a concern, you want to be on the board, and there's a board coming up.
People don't know how to become you.
Wow, that sounds so flattering.
Not that they really want, it's such a heavy burden that.
It's not, and not to me. People are always, they don't want to step up because they think the phone's going to be ringing off the hook every night from parents, disgruntled parents, and it's not that way. Yeah, you get a call once in a while, but it's there's and I've always alluded to the chain of command, not to shed the responsibility, but if a person has, just because I'm a board member, I can't do something for you or anybody else to make something go away. You direct them, in a chain of command that this is the person you can talk to. I can help, or if it comes to a board level, whatever, but it's not as overwhelming as one might think. You're doing a lot more for your community by being involved with it and, you know, keeping some control over what's happening around you. But it's not everything that, it's just not people calling you, hammering, beating on you all the time. You're there for a cause. I mean, there's a reason why you want to be there, to support what you think the district should be doing, or to have a voice. But I would encourage people to do it. It's how.
Go to the Pennsylvania School Boards Association's website. There is a section that says how to become a candidate and how to run for office. The information is readily available to you if you have internet access.
Yeah, there's a time frame, and I believe it's like in April sometime, like ahead of a primary election. And there's a time that you'll go get petitions signed by, I think, 10 names on each one. If you cross-file, it's Democrat, Republican. You go and you get those, and you file some things with the elections office. You fill out a financial interest form, which basically all it is where your money comes from, to see if you have any financial conflicts that would possibly, you're just reporting them. That's about it.
The seat has to be available, though.
Right.
Well, no, it doesn't have to be available. There just has to be an election coming up.
Yeah, 2011 is our next election year.
We have all that information at www.asd-news.com, along with where, when all of the board members' years are up.
Like Chris and I, in 2011,
Yes.
we'll have to make a decision as to whether we will continue to stay or whether we're going to try to stay in our seat. And then from there, we go to the elections, and hopefully, if I decide to stay, that I can get enough votes to stay in the seat.
And if you want to inquire, if any other inquiries, call the elections office at the courthouse. Wendy Buzzard heads that office up, and she would help you through anything, any question you have due to an election, whatever you do.
As Mr. Rarick stated, both he and Mr. Chauncek are up for re-election if they decide to in 2011. Also is Solak, Monroe, and Stitt. So those are the ones that will be up in 2011. After that will be 2013, which would be Smeltzer, Close, Yassam, and Markolinsky. So we urge everybody to find people in your regions that would be very good candidates. Do not let them run unopposed again, because I live in Manor. I'll be honest with you, I exercised my right to undervote. I did not vote in that category, and so did 249 other voters in my region. So it says something when somebody doesn't vote for, when you have vote for one. So find some candidates.
Does anybody else have any questions?
I think I want to move. I think I probably will. But question, so what are your objectives for this year? So there's no long-term strategy, which I think most of us in the business world would be fired. I mean, I would be fired if we didn't have strategies, objectives. So what are your objectives other than Alberton?
I feel as though we're in triage mode here, and we're just doing the best we can. I know that my vote doesn't matter at all at any of these school board meetings, but all I can do is bring forth all of my concerns that I think is representative of my constituents, and get it on public record that I disagree with all of their activities, and that's all I can do. I mean, it's frustrating beyond frustration. I mean, it's just to the point now where, I was angry, and then it sort of dissolved into helplessness. I'm going through the different stages of grief here, because I just, you just have to do that to cope and to deal with it. So that's it. That's how I'm dealing with it.